I was watching Master Santiago when PaperX decided to lock in Gekko on Bind. Gekko, holy shit, that's my agent, and as the best Gekko one trick there is, I was eager to see what they had cooked up. What I was really looking for was cool defensive Gekko tech, because it's a lot easier to make Gekko look good on the attack side, but a good Gekko is one that has good defense side theory since it's a lot harder to pick up his abilities. However, as the half progressed, I started to realize that this comp, which might seem like it was designed to help the Gekko pick up the globules, was not going to do that at all. In fact, if you wanted to count how many times something picked up his abilities on defense, which is kind of the whole point of Gekko, you'd be able to do it on one hand, because it was literally one singular time. One singular dizzy pickup on defense, and that was it. On the rounds where PaperX decided to take space on defense, something would just throw Dizzy down B-long and run away to rotate, leaving her stranded behind with no chance of picking back up. Like here in round 5.
Try to push out. No, it's not a contest for the orb. It's just Jing being
Hey, that's cool though. Hey, that's a nice strat. I like this.
And here in round 11.
Same play again, deeps. Sure, this time we're learning. Got our molly out.
Scuba again.
At that point, you might as well play Yoru because it allows something to flash and fight down long with his team, while also having the ability to TP away when he needs to rotate or take an aggressive line. On the attack side, their strats with the Gekko and Harbor default were instantly countered because they were using the most basic version of the strat, which everyone had come up with as soon as the Gekko buffs were announced. They would throw this molly for Octagon and use this Harbor Cove and then reinforce it to help the Gekko pick up Mosh. Once that stopped working, which like I just said was within the first attack side round, they completely abandoned the Gekko Harbor combo and kinda just left something to his own devices, which made it so that he never used his abilities in combination with the Sky or the Harbor, ultimately making him a weaker agent. From what I could tell, something was taught lineups with Mosh on the attack side, and they would use those lineups on their executes, which is perfectly fine, but in the process they would ignore what fundamentally makes Gekko good. The only reason Gekko is good is because you can pick his abilities up and reuse them, which would ideally be done multiple times in a round. You cannot play Gekko like a Breach or KO or literally any other agent with a flash, wherein you can just throw your flashes around willy-nilly because you don't have to worry about picking them back up. If we're only using one Dizzy and one Wingman in a round, we're fundamentally playing Gekko wrong and are actively putting ourselves at a disadvantage. Now, it wasn't all doom and gloom though, since they did end up almost running the gauntlet but ended up falling just short at 11 to 13. And there were a few good pieces of Gekko util that we can steal and use in our ranked games. Before that though, I'd like to go over... During the game, in back-to-back rounds, Something was able to get 2 separate kills with Mosh, and people were logically quite confused as to how that would happen. Do not worry, I've got the answers. The first incident was with Scuba inside Tube on B. Here's what it looked like from his POV. Now what happened here? Let me make it clear by saying that the molly that Something used wasn't the old 100 Thieves molly that lands on top of site and bleeds into Tube. No, this is different. The old molly no longer works and it's been patched a very long time ago. What happened here was that the molly landed behind Tube, but because Mosh is such a large molly, it spreads around and into the Tube, covering the area as well, but for some reason doesn't give the danger indicator, which is supposed to be instantly, causing Skabooboo to get blown to smithereens. Now, how does Brock survive? Well, he swings out at the last second and dies to Envy. The second incident was with the aforementioned Broctagon, wherein he dies to Mosh while walking inside his own smoke. Simply put, he walks into this Mosh lineup for top truck that spreads both in front of and behind it and dies because he probably missed the timing or something, I really don't know. That wraps up. And lastly, we have... As I mentioned earlier, just because the game started off pretty bad and there was no really good defense side theory, does not mean that there wasn't cool stuff for us to steal. So here's what I've found. Firstly, we have a Dizzy for contesting A main on defense. Then we have the Mosh lineup that spreads into Tube from behind. We also have the Mosh lineup for top of truck. And for the third and final Mosh lineup, we have one that was not shown on broadcast and people might have missed it if they weren't paying attention, but it is essentially a cross-map lineup from B to A that lands in front of lamps and allows the teammate in lamps to survive for longer. For the last piece of tech, we have something that most people should already know, but in case you're not aware, you can hold Thrash back by pressing the S key, and that stops her from moving forward. You can use it to delay the timer on Thrash, you can use it to jump late, etc, etc. There's a lot of cool tech with it, and here's one piece that something did with it.
Both gonna be gone 3v2 now.
One more, here's more.
There's another Thrash coming his way, back pedals it. There's something maybe having a little bit too much fun there, but it's gonna be Envy again with a 3K.
To conclude, I'd just like to reiterate what I've said earlier for any team that wishes to play Gekko in the future. Assuming they watch this video, XD. Gekko is only good if you can use his abilities multiple times in a round. In simple terms, more use equals more power. We understand this with Thrash, since teams will use Thrash as a skydog to take space, but then loop her back, pick her up, and then reuse later as an execute tool. The same thing needs to be done for other abilities as well. If we're only using one Dizzy or one Wingman, we're playing what is easily the weakest agent in the game, and at that point, we might as well not play Gekko. The wait for a team with good defense side Gekko theory lives on. I've been Ivy, thank you for watching.